This is the type of stuff I like to see. This is the energy I like to see when it comes to fighting back against these dumbass gun control laws. Now, after Congress passed what they're calling the One Big Beautiful Bill, which brought the tax on suppressors, short-barreled rifles, and short-barreled shotguns down to $0, several pro-2A organizations, including Gun Owners of America, Firearms Policy Coalition, and others, have decided that's just not enough. They're suing the ATF, aiming to wipe out the National Firearms Act altogether. Well, at least for suppressors, SBRs, and SBSs. And look, I love seeing it. This lawsuit was filed in the Northern District of Texas, which is typically pretty friendly territory for the Second Amendment. But let's keep it real. This isn't going to be an overnight victory. It's gonna be a marathon, not a sprint. Expect a tough fight through the court system, maybe even all the way up to the Supreme Court. Now, here's the core of what's happening. You see, when Congress lowered the NFA tax to $0, it essentially gutted the NFA's original legal justification, which was based entirely on Congress's taxing powers. As GOA Senior Vice President Eric Pratt put it in their recent press release, with the tax struck down by Congress, the rest of the NFA is standing on air. We're ready to take this fight to the courts and finally end the Federal Registry once and for all. And he's right. The NFA has always been about taxation as its legal foundation. Remember, back in 1937, the Supreme Court upheld the NFA strictly as a tax statute in the Szynski v. United States case. No tax, no justification. But the thing that really bothers me, and probably bothers most of you, is that even though the tax is gone, the federal government still wants to keep the registration. As GOA clearly stated in their video,
we know that the tax is the least of the problems with the NFA. The registry must be dismantled along with taxation. Dealing with one without the other is only a half measure.
And it's true. Like, I know me personally, and I think most people would agree with me. As far as I'm concerned, if I had to pick a poison, give me the tax and get rid of the gun control registration bullshit. And I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people that agree with me on that. And then we'll deal with the tax stuff later. But by and large, I think a lot of people saw the tax issue as kind of, all right, yeah, whatever. We didn't like it, but the thing we really wanted was to have suppressors, SBRs, and SBSs completely removed from the NFA. That was our thing. That's the thing we wanted. That's the biggest encumbrance to our 2A rights with respect to that. Because otherwise it's like Congress saying, hey, we'll remove the price tag, but we're still gonna keep tabs on every single gun you own. That's still gun control, plain and simple. On top of this, another group, the Firearms Policy Coalition, echoed these sentiments, saying in their press release, while we continue to fight for the total legislative elimination of the NFA, our organizations are proud to stand together in a new strategic lawsuit to challenge the constitutionality of the NFA in federal court. And this lawsuit isn't some vague symbolic gesture. It's specific and it's serious. They're demanding that the courts declare the NFA unconstitutional concerning these now untaxed items and stop ATF from enforcing these outdated unconstitutional rules. Now, I've got to keep your expectations realistic here. As we've seen time and time again, any victory at the district court level will almost definitely face appeals, probably all the way up to the Supreme Court. And while our current Supreme Court makeup is favorable for our Second Amendment rights, nothing in the courts moves fast. The real win here is the strength and the unity these groups are showing. Companies like Palmetto State Armory, Silencer Shop, B&T USA, and others standing side by side with organizations like GOA and FPC send a powerful message. We ain't backing down. And honestly, things could get very interesting considering this is the ATF under the Trump administration. So who knows? Maybe we won't get as much pushback as we think, or we might, because there are still a ton of people at the ATF who are vehemently anti-2A. But there's also a good number of people at the ATF who are exceedingly pro-2A. So this will get rather interesting as far as I'm concerned. So what does this mean for us gun owners right now? Well, that means we've got to stay on top of it. And lawsuits like this are just an example of it. It's easy for us to become complacent when we're in an administration that is more or less on our side. We tend to just think, okay, well, we're safe now. But it's not so much the case that we just need to lay back and chill and just have a good old time. Enjoy the time, but at the same time, keep pushing. Keep pushing, keep pushing. Push as far as you possibly can to get rid of these gun control laws, because you have to understand something. The way our government is and the way we're structured, our government can overturn every 4 years. So right now, things are peachy cream with this conservative style government, but 4 years later, it could be completely left wing. So you have to understand, if we don't gain as much as we possibly can, we could find ourselves 10 steps back 4 years later. So gain as much as you can now, so that in the event we might find ourselves under a Democrat regime again, we'd be in a better position to kind of hedge against losing what we've gained, and not so much ending up 10 steps backwards from where we were. Now, all that said, I want you right now to hit the link in my description section. Y'all saw that coming. No, but right now we definitely have released our new line of Defend America, and it's one of my favorites right now. As you can see here on my hat, Defend America. And what this hat is supposed to represent is, look, we are who we are as a country. We are America. A lot of people like to give a shit about the fact that, oh, your citizens, everybody has guns and they're running around shooting guns and stuff like that. And everybody likes to make it seem like we're the wild, wild west of the world, when in reality, we're not. If you look at how big we are and the number of people we have and the number of guns we have, and then you actually take into account the number of gun deaths that we have and gun violence in this country, it's actually, I'm not going to say it's not that bad, because any loss of life is a bad thing, but comparatively, it should technically be way worse if there's a direct one-to-one correlation for the number of guns in the hands of citizens in this country. Just saying. So we like to defend our way of life here, and we'll defend it with the best tools possible. And right now, in my mind, for us, from a small arms standpoint, to defend against tyranny, it is going to be the AR. And that's what this represents. It's our ability to have the best means to not only protect our country, but also protect ourselves and the people that we love. And that's what the Defend America represents. It is about us coming together as a country, the citizens coming together to defend what they hold in highest regard, which is our freedoms and our liberties. So I'm gonna put a link in the description section for you to check out the Defend America line. We make them in hats, we make them in shirts, we make them in drinkware, you name it. And of course, I'm gonna talk about making sure you protect your hearing too, because there's no reason you should still be relegated to dumb hearing protection. You see, these are my favorite in-ear wireless Bluetooth hearing protection. I can listen to music, I can listen to podcasts, I can take a phone call, all while I'm at the range protecting my hearing, because they have active noise blocking. And then they also have pass-through, so I can actually hear what's going on around me. So at the end of the day, we are in 2025. There's no reason why we should have dumb hearing protection anymore. We have smart hearing protection in the way of the AKT1 blackouts. So I'm gonna put a link in the description section for these as well. They're at shop.mrcolionnoir.com. Check them out. Have a great day. One thing's for certain and two things are for sure. Politicians and tech giants don't want gun content to be recommended to you. And we're all fighting this culture war together. Now, you can help do your part by liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel, but most importantly, sharing this video with at least one person. Together, we can stop the suppression of our 2A rights. And don't forget to click the link in the description section of this video for the products that I mentioned in this video.